After hoping that I wouldn't go up against another fear-causing army, I get pitched up against the most dreaded of them all, which is the vampire counts. Funny story actually, because the guy was meant to play misread which table he was on, and sat on the table next to me. I was thinking to myself, he's got a zombie dragon with a tooled up character and a few black knights. Then I saw a bit of his army roster and it was tooled up with a lot of magical bling bling. Then the guy who I thought I was playing pulled up and he had an Empire army, and I'm thinking, yeah, sweet, I can deal with an Empire army better than a Vampire's army. Then he said, oh, I'm on the next table. And there were two players there already, the Vampire player and the Warriors of Chaos player. And it just so happened that the guy who read the pairings wrong was the guy who had the Vampire army. I guess some people have all the luck. So as I already mentioned, yeah, he's got the tooled up Vampire Lord riding the Zombie Dragon, the White King with the BSB, and the Vampire with the Helm of Commandment. He's also got 4 units of Dire Wolves, a unit of Zombies, 2 units of 15 Skeleton Warriors for now, 2 units of 5 Black Knights, and 2 Wraiths and a Banshee. Interestingly enough, he's separated his army with his Lord, Black Knights, Wraiths, Banshee, and 2 units of Wolves on one side, and he had everything else on the other. I've trundled up the giant along my right flank to try and get rid of the dogs and the zombie unit on the far right hand flank. I moved my war boss into a position where I could charge his skeleton units just in case they moved up the table. The left flank was always going to be a little trickier than the other side, especially with the zombie dragon looming around. But he didn't want to cop all those hits from the Doom Diver and the Spear Chuckers as well, so he's kept it behind the forest for the majority of the game. I didn't want the Savage Orc Ball Boys charging recklessly into raids, so I've kept the Wolf Riders in front of them. During his first few turns of magic, he wasn't doing too well with raising skellies, as he kept rolling 1s and 2s, so I was a bit lucky in that respect. My hand was kind of forced into moving the War Boss towards the left-hand flank, because his Wolves were threatening my Doom Diver and the Spear Chuckers. My Doom Diver actually misfired the first turn, and I tried to shoot with it. Killed the crew member and couldn't shoot on turn 2 because of the misfire. And then on turn 3 got charged, decided to flee and couldn't rally them in the following turns, so the Doom Diver was pretty useless in this game. The Giant managed to wipe out the unit of Wolves with a swing with club, and I decided not to overrun. I didn't think he would charge with his zombies onto the Giant, but he did the following turn. With his other unit of Wolves, he's moved it up very quickly and triggered the Fanatic. I killed one Wolf, but then on my turn the Night Goblins rolled a 6 for their Animosity. And then I rolled high enough to get them into a charge with the Wolves. And then the Night Goblins easily won that combat and the Wolves were wiped out. On the left flank, my Wolf Riders have started to squabble amongst themselves, leaving them to get charged by 2 units of Black Knights. The unit of Black Knights which is flanking the Wolf Riders actually charged during the magic phase when he cast Van Hells with Irresistible Force. So the combat didn't end up too well for the Wolf Riders, who were wiped out in one turn. He overran with both units with the unit of Black Knights, but he rolled a dismal 4 inches for his move, leaving them just in front of the Savage Orc Boar Boy unit. And the other unit of 2 Knights headed towards the flank of the Orc Boar unit. So on my turn, the Savage Orc Boar Boys have charged into the Black Knights, which they promptly smashed into the ground due to all those attacks. Now the Savage Orc Boar Boys overran into another unit of Wolves and smashed them into the ground as well. Then they overran a short length. This gave the Banshee a chance to scream at them. Took out 2 Savage Orc Boar Boys with a scream. I was hoping she could kill one more, so that would have left me with 3. So I could move through that little gap there and charge into the Wolves. But having 4 of the Savage Orc Boar Boys meant that one model clipped the edge of the forest. After so much fight-assing around, I couldn't resist but charge the Squig Herd into the Skelly unit with a Vampire. He's challenged with his Skelly champion, and my Goblin Big Boss happily accepted. Managed to kill the champ. Killed a few Skelly warriors, but couldn't ruin the Vampire. I did win the combat by only about 2 or 3, but that allowed him to charge his other Skelly unit with the White King onto the Squig Herd. So I've challenged with my Goblin Big Boss with his White King, and he accepted. I used my one-hit wonder on him and couldn't even hit him. He couldn't hit me either, so it was a major fluffage by the both of us. He won combat, but luckily I moved up my BSB close enough in the previous turn, and then I got a reroll on the break test and managed to pass with the Squig Herd. With the Giant, it's turned into an epic combat where he's kept raising zombies into the unit, and I was more than happy to let it go. The Giant loves swinging his club, and because of that, couldn't get enough kills onto the zombies to win combat. I kept rolling 2s and 3s to see how many zombies he would swing at, and it just wasn't enough. There was one turn where I did get a jump up and down, but of course, that was a turn he also fell over, and that stuffed it up big time for me. So the Giant only lost 2 wounds the whole game and was fighting a unit of 60 zombies. And that's epic if you ask me. Now on his last turn, he's moved his zombie dragon out of the forest and in front of my wyvern, who charged the last Black Knight and managed to overrun into that little area there. And he's like I said, he's moved the dragon out and he's tried to cast Van Hills on his dragon, on herself. And yeah, she miscast, and that was very fortunate because if the zombie dragon got in, then would have been in big trouble with the wyvern. So he's miscast, he rolled a 7, which is probably the best result you can get. Strength 2, didn't wound the dragon or anything like that. So yeah, I think I got away from that one very lightly. I did win this game against vampires 13-7. Quite happy with that because he did have a nasty army list, and being another fear-causing army, it's absolutely dreaded by my orcs and goblins. So one more game to go on day 2. And fingers crossed that I don't go up against another fear-causing army.